because they've been the best looking charts for a while now. And today's close of hype is exactly what I wanted to see. Weekly close through that upper level, $40. And now there's a bit of continuation here. So this is a pretty easy sort of trade for me. If I was to get into something like hype or invest in hype, I'd be looking for an entry on a weekly close through a certain horizontal. And then I'd be looking to get in on this next candle with potentially a stop loss at 40.29, or you're waiting for another weekly close through that level to exit your position. But that to me looks really nice, really strong. These are horizontal levels being flipped. I think if it closes above this level for another week, then she's likely going on to 51 and new highs. So really good looking chart there for mine. And that's the difference between a bad looking chart and a good looking chart. Hyperliquid here versus tether. Excuse me, down on the daily. Again, this is the chart I want to see. And that's the daily come back and retest. See that? Beautiful. Love that. Tap, close back above. Now it's red, sure, but that doesn't matter as long as it's closing above this crucial level. And you can easily put a stop loss limit on. This is where you can go to the daily for maybe a bit more context to see where the moving averages actually are, and you can set those alerts. All right, TAO. Now TAO had a pretty ugly situation happened around one of its subnets. I think it was Connect AI, something along those lines. But there were a lot of issues. They moved out of TAO. They just stopped running on TAO and moved away, and they had issues with the owner of TAO saying it was too centralized. I'm not going to get into the scuttlebutt of all that, but it comes back to a lot of these layer ones around trust. And as soon as these types of uh, lack a loss of faith in some of these layer ones, especially this early venture tech stuff, you got to be very, very careful. I'm not saying TAO's dead. I'm not saying TAO's over. But Joe asked me the other day, not Joe Shu, but Little Joe. He said, "Well, this is what was it, Chris? You said, is this a good buy right now to buy TAO?" And I just said, no, because you don't know whether this is the end of TAO, whether it's a systemic risk. I remember vividly with Luna, the token that used to be Luna. It was actually pretty similar to TAO in many respects in terms of market cap size. In fact, may have been bigger, and it went down a ridiculous amount in one day because of something going on with one of the stable coins. I can't quite recall exactly, but it was such a sizable drawdown for such a large market cap coin. Everyone was kind of like, well, surely it's coming back. I want to buy this. It was kind of like a 10-10 event where things went down 60-70% in one go. And everyone piled in, but then it become more apparent that what was going on was actually a systemic risk where their stable coin that they had was just completely. It was how did it work? I can't remember, but it was a death spiral where the chain was in a death spiral with their stable coin, and it caused the price to continually go lower because the token was continuously being sold. And that, again, it's a learning lesson that you just don't know with a lot of these assets at the early stage. Some of them are going to succeed, yes, but some of them can have moments, even if they look relatively robust and relatively safe, which are systemic, where you're going to lose a lot of money if you just FOMO in and buy the dip. And I don't want to do that. I want to wait for, let's say, the hyperliquids of the world where they're actually clearing levels. Like if TAO was weekly closed through here, so reclaims that, or a weekly close up here, I get on board, TAO in those areas. That's against USD. So yeah, lots to piece together. So it's good to see that you guys like that. So that's great. Now let's get into the charts real quick. So Bitcoin, and I'll have a look at the software ETF versus Bitcoin here in just 2 seconds. Now Bitcoin here, it's done nothing. Nothing has changed, and that's really, really important. We've had, again, more macro swings, potential ceasefire, markets liked it. Bitcoin went up, sure. We had rollback on that. Bitcoin down a little bit, nothing much. But ultimately, you just see where Bitcoin is. It's still in this range. And again, it's been performing admirably, holding up tremendously. But we still haven't cleared that 74K, 74,500, that type of region with the weekly close. And we haven't broken down for 65, so nothing has changed. You don't have to change your MO at all. Again, but things are improving. I do like the signs here, and the longer we keep closing above, and I want to get above this 10 EMA first of all on the weekly, that's 71,600. Get above that, we're looking a lot better. Above that 74, 75 region, then I'd anticipate we do something like this and find a new range within here. We're just bumping up against 86, coming back down to 75. We're doing this chop until we do the same thing and break up. Staircase up, elevator down. Yeah, easy on that one, guys. I think that's That's pretty much it. The weekly, the daily, all working in concert, acting to a bit of headline risk. This could be on the daily, another range failure, which it does look like it's setting up to be. This is an engulfing candle off the high there, rising wedge, falls away. Can it stabilize and solidify here? 50 on the RSI, can we just climb our way out? Again, bottoms always look ugly. They never look perfect. It's never just straight up and out until it wants to. But the consolidation at resistance is encouraging. We could also be starting the next leg down because of the three rejection across there.